Okay, so we're coming to the sixth chapter of Inca Roca, the sixth Inca with Helen and his Helen of Troy. Well, it happens like in the old world. Inca Roca becomes the Inca Lord, or the Sapa Inca as they call it. He has the Masca y Facha. But why do I call this Helen of Troy? Well, like in all kingdoms of the old world, the Incas had families, dynasty, or panacas as they call it, and in this case, Inca Roca falls into that more or less classical history, the Odyssey or the Helen of Troy that we all know and read. And here, Inca Roca goes in an expedition and comes back a winner. But meanwhile, this Curacaslo, or another dynasty, had promised to one of the Ayarmancas, they call it, promised their daughter to him. But since Inca Roca comes from an expedition in which apparently he has won or enlarged the empire, instead they gave to him this young Nusta or beautiful lady as a wife. Obviously, the Ayarmancas or the other people got very upset, and he has a child with her, and they get hold of the child. As we will know, is the next Inca, and he's raised as a child, and also as a hostage, And this child had problems that we will eventually describe, and there are many things that happen in this chapter, but the main thing I'd like you to put an eye is that there are family problems, and that can be caused by women, either powerful or beautiful. In this case, this is what happened, and then this and the next chapter are more or less tied up, in which the Inca Empire is in very horrible family problems that I'll be reading.
Estamos con el doctor Carlos Sánchez, estamos en el sexto Inca Roca, ¿no? Donde usted lo denomina Inca Roca y su Helena de Troya. Aquí Kuntursoul habla con el Inca, como en todo el capítulo del libro, y aquí hay una frase que dices, que quisiera que por favor lo puedas detallar, ¿no? Una frase hermosa que dices: el pasado es lo único que nos pertenece.
Yeah. Professor Cifuentes is kind of following this in Spanish, and he got intrigued by the question. In my discussion, said the past is the only thing that belongs to us. Well, as I carry my discussion with this Inca who has multiple family problems, and somewhere along the line, he says, what are you looking at the past and all that, and in fact I tell him the past is the only thing that belongs to us, and in effect I think that is what humanity is. We write books and everything about the past. We don't write about the future. We make pictures, we have ideas, but we write about the past. And then I answered the Inca that the past is the only thing that belongs to us. Like this, and that is why I wrote this book. You know, I'm 80 years old, and what I got out of this life on this earth. It's the past, and which is the only thing that it belongs to us, and this is why I wrote about my ancestors, because although the great country of the North, the United States, my adopted country, gave me all the good things of this earth, but still the past is something that I was always asking to myself, who am I, well, even why I'm here, and so on. And the conclusion is that out of all the things I did, I became a doctor. I didn't write any doctoral thesis or anything, but not being a historian. And even my mother didn't know how to write or read, and yet I wrote about the history of my past. But that took me a lot of sweat to write this book. It took me 14 years. So we're on the 6th chapter, Inca Roca, the 6th Inca and his Helen of Troy. Leaving my present, I returned to rediscover the history of my ancestors, of whom I so passionately want to know. But in the depths of my soul, I can hear the murmur of my countrymen. What for? Is it conceivable there are people who truly deny their past? Is it possible there is so much degeneration in the soul of a nation for this to happen? For we, present mestizo descendants, carry more Indian blood in our veins than we care to admit. Yet, we bluntly dismiss our heritage as it was a poison to our being. Incomprehensible, but as that is the reality of the descendants of the New World people. Kuntursoul, you seem to be submerged in an aura of pain. Were you thinking of the evils of your past? Look at the Salcantay, our ancestral mountain. In its glaciers you will find the peace that you desire. But you are searching for that consolation in the torrential downpour of our tears which pours from our afflictions. Oh, Inca Roca, I will always feel abated, because hope for us is as dead as you are. Man of the future, lift yourself with the rush of words that come from the pathos of your thoughts and inscribe them in the paper that we never had. Because we never spilled our guts into those pages, our passions were buried in the dust of the ages to never come out of our graves. However, people like you, who endear themselves with their past, will make us feel again that child who played, that man who loved, and that woman who cried, the sole moment in our existence that belongs to us. Kuntursoul, wake up from your nightmare. Let us attend to the funeral of my father. Young Inca was not present at his deathbed, but I am beginning to understand the wisdom of what he tried to accomplish. Unfortunately, I put him on the catafalques of our present injustice, and I judged him in the gallows of foreign injustice. Kuntursoul, why did you leave him before his death? I did because the consorts of the emperors, like the queens of the old world, had royal tempers to the point of weakness. It is said that your father may have been killed by his wife, who is now your concubine. Could that have been possible? What happened is best left to history. What is true is that Cusco was getting too small for an increasing population. We were already the owners of the valley, and I was the first one to be called Inca. Then why have I been calling the other sovereign Incas? Remember that you are just trying to find answers for the causes of our decline, and not the veracity of our encounter. Like the chroniclers, you are also confusing me. Let me explain you what I mean. We had a leader for each community and a sole warlord for a defense. I combined both powers into one, and I was the first Inca with that dual responsibility. Was it that easy? No, because we still had powerful warlords who would not accept our dynasty until we either destroy them or mixed our bloods. Inca, you view destruction and union as interchangeable. Why? Because exchanging our women was better than fighting. However, some of them caused wars on account of their beauty or their ambitions. Then your wife had a political motives. Perhaps for now, I hear that the Chancas are again causing terror in the north. I must go there. It seems that the Chancas will not stop until they fight against the Incas. That is why I'm going to the land of the Quechuas to consolidate our confederation. Inca Roca left on the first expedition as the Sapa Inca. Kuntursoul were already at the doors of the Chancas. We have heard that they have two factions, the elders who want peace, and the young who refuse any arrangements unless it's settled by war. I should convince them otherwise. In his desire to surprise them, the Chancas fled, vowing to someday would come to Cusco. With no further incidents, the Inca returned to the sacred city, where he found that the Guayacans and the Ayarmancas were warring. Although Inca Roca was the lord of the valley, the two lordships were still holding power within their clans. Kuntursoul, remember that I said we have wars and also form alliance on account of our beautiful women. Don't tell me that you had your Helen of Troy. Compare with whomever you want. Tokai Capac, the lord of the Ayarmancas, is upset because the leader of the Guayacans promised him his daughter to be his wife. Instead, the Curaca of the Guayacans decided to give her to me on account of my successful expeditions. I am afraid that this is not going to have a happy ending, as she is about to have my first child. To avoid taking sides, I will go south to the Collasuyo. After a lengthy expedition, Inca Roca returned to Cusco, where he's told that his son was kidnapped. Worse yet, there were rumors that the same Guayacans had given the Inca prince to Tokai Capac, the Curacas of the Ayarmancas, as ransom for cessation of hostilities against them. Inca Roca, what are you going to do? I know that war would be the easiest way to retrieve my son, but we'll get him back with his similar intrigues. I will visit the Lord of Anta, Suma, whose daughter is the wife of Tokai Capac. It is possible that through her, I might get my son back. At their garden, an old woman told the Inca that she had seen his hair. Is that true? If he's alive, is he well? Tito Cusihualpa is fine, but because of his eyes were always red, he was called Yawar Waka, the one who whips blood. Tokai Capa wanted to kill the young prince. His shamans told him that due to his condition, it would be a bad omen to kill him. Days later, Tito was returned to his father. Inca Roca, that was a good ending to such a horrible story. But you were at the threshold of an empire and you still had petty enemies. It doesn't make any sense. What happened was more of a family affair. From now on, I will reign in distrust because the intrigues will never cease. It looks like the Ayarmancas and the Guayacans are going to be your worst enemies. What are you going to do? At the festivities of the Huarchico, I will try to make peace with Tokai Capac before Tito is crowned. While the games were taking place, Inca Roca addressed the nobles. Incas and lords of the valley, my son suffered at the hands of our neighbors. His abduction may or may not have been justified. I'm not going to open all wounds. Now more than ever we should be united. The Chancas are almost at our gates, and we must be ready to repel them. Tokai Kappa, looking at Inca Roca's son, spoke. Tito Kusiwalpa, I offer you my daughter as your wife. May the brilliance of her amber eyes outshine your days of darkness, and her kindness erase the humiliation that your father suffered. Let us always beware of what we're capable of doing to each other. Peace in the valley was reestablished. Inca Roca was instructed his son for an excursion to the east, where the savage inhabit the rainforest. Kuntursoul, I thought that you didn't want to diminish our people with derogatory surnames. Why call the Chunchos savages? I am not using the word savage as an insult. The rainforest people live in complete communion with their environment, and that is what this word signifies. But you're right, savage has a negative connotation, and it should not be used. Nevertheless, why are you sending your son to uncharted lands where previous Incas have failed? Hasn't he suffered enough? Kuntursoul, before one enters that hellish green world, there are beautiful valleys that produce the coca, a much desired bush that grows best where nobody dares to go. Inca, in my time, those impenetrable valleys are still cultivated with the coca plant, and our people are being exploited for the green gold as they were for the yellow metal. Tito went to the rainforest that in our days can hardly be called jungle due to the deforestation. Inca Roca remained in the city to suffer the ravage of old age. Some years later, the prince returned. Kuntursoul, Tito Kusiwalpa is back. Before I join Inti, I want to celebrate his coronation and marriage. My son, you who had overcome your tortured childhood, now you return as a warrior. Take this crown, and from this day on you will be called Yawarwaka, not because you cried blood, but because you wept for your freedom. For no Inca has ever been taken prisoner in his soul. The festivity lasted for months, and Inca Roca fell. He called his nobles to bid them farewell. Incas, as I leave this world, I want you to prosper under Yawarwaka. Shield him from his enemies, who unfortunately are our own people. Then he spoke to us, his descendants. People of the present, I urge every Indian mestizo to unite, otherwise you will live in misery for repudiating who you are. Kuntursoul has accepted his Inca heritage, but his descendants will not remember theirs, because his blood has mingled with that of the old world, and we have lost him forever. That is why he has come to visit us, for he is the last Inca in his lineage. Inca Roca departed forever on one cuprous afternoon when Cusco gets very cold. And I have my wife, Anja Hovland, who's from Norway, an artist. He made this portrait, depicting more or less what I'm saying here, or the Inca is telling me. I'm the last Inca in my lineage. Probably there I am. This represents my wife is from Norway. Here's the Norwegian flag, and then here's the old world. He's an old man. And here is me, of course, brown, Indian looks, and the American flag in there. And here's the American continent represented by Indian lady, and here's the Peruvian flag. And here are my children, brownish and one more Viking look. So this is the essence of really of my life. And as the Inca says, he's the last of on his lineage. His children will suffer no longer all the humiliations he has suffered as an Inca descendant. And in a way, it is happening.